of 5th gen in general. Where we've come from. The metagames have switched around so much since the early days. I remember those dog days of summer. Playing yellow. Had my team. Good stuff, fun stuff. Marowak, Gengar. Who else did I use? Marowak, Gengar, Lapras, Jolteon. I don't remember what my favorite team to use was, but it was fun. Those were good times. And back in the first two generations, they were relatively defensive metagames because, most of the really good Pokemon still required some stall. It was cool. It was fun. It was very simple. And then Gen 3 started screwing everything up. No, I don't mean really screwing everything up, but, they changed it up a lot. A lot. That's when they completely changed around EVs and IVs, and base stats in general for everything. And that was cool. It made it much more competitive. And Gen 3 was, in my opinion, probably the least broken of the generations, at least of the past three, that's for sure. I mean, Gen 4 was fairly balanced until they started banning some stupid shit. Like, I don't understand why they banned. I mean, okay, Mixments doesn't have any true textbook counters to him. It doesn't mean everybody's gonna use him. I mean, even in Dream World tier on PO, Moximents is amazing. I love it. My favorite and I think most well put together team that I've made for 5th gen so far requires Moximents, so I have to wait to breed one of those. It's going to be a while. Hopefully not too long in order for me to use one on Wi-Fi, but almost nobody uses Salamence. Why? Because he doesn't really benefit from weather. Because weather has centralized our brains. Which is pretty retarded, in my opinion. Salamence is one of my favorite Pokemon. He's one of my 6 favorite Pokemon of all time. And I'm not going to count Ubers, because then I would have to put Mewtwo at top, and it's a very long and involved process. But I see a lot more people using Garchomp than even now than even at the beginning of 4th gen, when Garchomp was still OU. I mean, people used him fairly often because he was great. He was a great Scarf Revenge killer. And, if he had a Swords Dance variant and you were able to either get him a speed boost, or you just knew he was faster or could take hits from whatever your opponent had left, then he was brutal. He was a beast, he was a boss, and he destroyed. But people use Garchomp left and right now. It's crazy. I don't have a problem with that. It's cool. I really don't have a problem with that, because I still see Garchomp and I'm like, hey, thanks for the free 1-hit KO. Because I still run some ice move on at least 2 of my team, because it just makes sense with all the dragons that are running around nowadays, because people love dragons. And yeah, I mean, I love dragons. Speaking of dragons, Haxorus. Hacks are us. He is just an amazing glass cannon if you ignore the fact that he can't do anything to steel types that aren't named Bronzong or Heatran or Excadrill when they're not holding Air Balloon. He's completely walled by Skarmory. I mean, I think even with +6/+6 on him from Dragon Dance, he still can't 1-hit KO Skarmory. At least I'm pretty sure. I haven't really tried, because you'd be an idiot to bother, and your opponent would be an idiot to let you set up that much with a Haxorus. Regardless, yeah, the metagame has just switched around so much, and it's cool. I think it's a good thing for the most part. What I don't like is when it starts to get centralized around certain things, like weather right now. I don't know, that annoys me. When people are more concerned about weather than using stuff they actually like, that bugs me. Um, I think the last thing I want to touch on as far as the games themselves is Wi-Fi. And I've gotta ask Nintendo and Game Freak, are you purposely trying to make people not want to bother buying the game itself and just play a ROM on their computer or play the battle sims that are out there? Because I'm gonna be honest and as forthcoming as I can be with you, your online play sucks. I mean, first of all, I know this isn't entirely your fault, but my Wi-Fi for black and white works perfectly fine, but I can't connect to my router with my heart gold or so silver. There's no reason for that. It I know this is not Nintendo or Game Freak's fault. This is the people who generate the Wi-Fi and the compatibility and all that technical bullshit that I won't even begin to pretend to understand. But Wi-Fi in general for this gen is terrible. I mean, last gen they had it. They really did. Auto level 50 or auto level 100 all. It was beautiful. And I don't understand why they removed that feature. I really don't. You know, I understand that there are certain strategies, albeit they're completely retarded ones, and people who use them are just assholes and don't like to play Pokemon for fun. They like to just be assholes. Um, like using fear Pokemon. Focus Sash, Endeavor, Priority Attack, and then it was initially Rattata, but people have used the same strategy with all sorts of crap, and now people will use it with Leech Seed, level 1, and it's dumb. It's dumb. Please, get some skill, then fight me. Please. Do us both a favor. But Wi-Fi, this generation, I don't understand what possessed them to get rid of the auto level feature. Because now it's either auto level 50 and you have to play 3v3 singles or 4v4 doubles, or all your Pokemon, or if you're playing no restrictions, are at whatever level they're at that current point in time. It's like, why not just auto level them to level 100 and make it easier? You're forcing so many people to just go buy action replays and just like using whatever code you can get to have max items or something and just rare candy their Pokemon until they've got fucking diabetes. I don't understand. It's like Nintendo is hurting their own cause, or Game Freak. I mean, Nintendo owns it, but still, regardless, guilt by association. That's my role here. And another thing for the random Wi-Fi, there's something I do like that they did for the random Wi-Fi, and that is their hack checks. I am so glad Nintendo finally is starting to crack down on so many people that are just hacking their Pokemon. Because that's boring, it's lazy, and they're no fun to battle. So I like with random Wi-Fi that you can, not have to worry about battling hacked Pokemon. Unless, of course, they're, I guess, extremely good at hacking and can Poke-save like nobody's business and make them look completely legitimate. Then, okay, whatever. But they're still going to be legitimate, and you're not going to have to worry about running into something with an ability or a move that it can't actually have.